Number 45, brain picking isn't profitable. If you ever run across the person, you're trying to qualify them, and it seems like they've got 20 of their own questions to ask you. Want to know how long you've been in business? They want to know this, they want to know that, they want to know this. You keep answering all the questions. In fact, new salespeople, that's a trap that we fall into a lot. We say, oh boy, I got somebody really interested. So we answer all 20 questions. 10 minutes later, they know everything, you know nothing. You've been squeezed like a sponge, tossed aside, you've been brain picked. Right? The way to avoid that is with a technique called the fish hook technique. The fish hook technique. What you simply do is answer their question and immediately respond with a question relating to your answer. You answer their question and immediately respond with a question relating to your answer. Let's say they say, well, how long have you been in business? You could say, oh, about 10 years. And shut up. Whose turn to talk is it? Theirs. They ask you another question. By using the fishhook method, you might say, yeah, I'm very excited to tell you that we've now been in business for 10, very profitable years. Just out of curiosity, why is the credibility of the company you're considering doing business with of importance to you? See, I've answered their question, but I've immediately responded with a question related to my answer. It gives me my control back, because he or she who asked the last question is always in control, right? Plus, it gathers me more information.
In this follow-up, let's investigate further how to avoid being brain-picked. As an example, if your prospect says, well, what's your minimum? You might say, well, that really depends on each individual and what they're most comfortable with. What type of a figure would you feel comfortable setting aside as far as your initial investment? Now, again, you've answered their question, but you've immediately responded with a question of your own to gather more information and get your control back. They might say, well, does it have a guarantee? You might say, yes, I'm pleased to tell you that it does have a 90-day, 100% money-back guarantee. Just out of curiosity, why is that important to you? And you've answered their question, but immediately responded with a question of your own to get your control back. If your prospect says, well, what does it cost? You might come back by saying, well, we've actually got two different plans. One is our monthly budget plan, and of course the other is our prepay option, which allows you an additional discount by paying it all up front. In a case like this, how would you normally want to handle it? And again, you've responded with a question to get your control back. This can be especially helpful for inbound calls. If you're constantly answering the phone and just answering one question after another, try to work with your script so that you can answer your prospect or customer's questions, but immediately respond with a question relating to your answer. Of course, another great technique is to simply stall their request for information until a later time in the presentation when you are ready to handle it. Whatever question they come up with, you can simply say, gee, I'm glad you've asked me that question, and I will be getting back to that in detail in just a couple of minutes. And then you continue on with your presentation to keep your control and avoid being brain-picked. Now here's an assignment for you. Write down 10 different questions that you're asked on a repeated basis from your prospects or your customers, and then write a fishhook technique for each one. As with anything new, this technique won't feel comfortable until we make it a habit. Be willing to improvise, innovate, and then initiate this technique to help you reach more of your full potential. And for those of you that are members of the Old Blue fan club and haven't been able to find him in this shot, well, Old Blue is always with you. May the pooch be with you.
Money, money, money.